Evening, Chibi. Today is Wednesday the 14th of September 2021. So moving into autumn now. Coronavirus is still around, but lots of people have been vaccinated, so that's good. So it's helping to make things a little bit more normal in England, and I think in Japan slowly they're getting vaccines as well, so that's helping there too. I hope some stage soon I can come to see you. With it being September, the autumn's coming, which means that it's getting dark outside now. It's only 7:58 and it's already getting dark. It's different in England to Japan, because in Japan you don't have such massive differences in terms of the light, but in England in the summer it won't get dark until like 10-11 o'clock at night, and in the winter it might be 3 or 4 in the afternoon, so it's a massive change. So when it's dark at 8 o'clock, you know that winter's starting to come. It's going to be a long time till it's summer again. But, it's some things to look forward to as well, like Halloween and fireworks night, which you weren't a big fan of fireworks when you was a little Akachan. You didn't like it. I guess you probably like it now. We took you once to the Rivlin Valley and walked you down the hill, and there was some big fireworks being at the pub. We went to a fireworks show. The Rivlin, it's called the Holly Bush, and you were underneath the fireworks and you didn't like it. You had a big cry, and so we decided to leave. And after that, you weren't a big fan of going to fireworks displays, but we did watch them out the window from the top of 316 Stannington Road when we used to live there. That was nice. Me and you recently have been playing lots of Minecraft. It's been good fun. This last week we went mining underground and we found gold for the first time. We have lots of fun generally on Saturday mornings, and I look forward to it every week. And yeah, so I always think about you now. So for example, now it's 4 o'clock in the morning, so you'll be fast asleep, and it's Wednesday tomorrow, so you'll be going to school in the morning. And I wonder what you're doing at school, and I wonder what you do after school. I wonder whether or not you lead the kids to school in the train, like when I say the train, I mean when you walk them to school now. Are you one of the people at the front or the back, or are you in the middle still? When I was there, you were still one of the little ones. And I think sometimes about how's kendo going, and yeah, what the autumn's like for you, and what the leaves are like on the trees, and what you and a car do after school, and what dinner you have. All sorts of things I think about. But yeah, enough of me talking. Here we go. So, carrying on with Matilda, we're up to the Trunchbull is the topic of the title, and it's about the head teacher. Right, here we go. In the interval, Miss Honey left the classroom and headed straight for the headmistress's study. Remember, in the last chapter, Matilda showed how clever she was. She felt wildly excited. She had just met a small girl who possessed, or so it seemed to her, quite extraordinary qualities of brilliance. There had not been a time yet to find out exactly how brilliant the child was, but Miss Honey had learnt enough to realise that something had to be done about it as soon as possible. It would be ridiculous to leave a child like that stuck in the bottom form. Normally, Miss Honey was terrified of the headmistress and kept well away from her, but at this moment she felt ready to take on anybody. She knocked on the door of the dreaded private study. "Enter!" boomed the deep and dangerous voice of Miss Trunchbull. Miss Honey went in. Now, most head teachers are chosen because they possess a number of fine qualities. They understand children, and they have the children's best interest at heart. They are sympathetic, they are fair, and they are deeply interested in education. Miss Trunchbull possessed none of these qualities, and how she ever got the job was a mystery. She was above all else a formidable female. She had once been a famous athlete, and even now the muscles were still clearly in evidence. You could see them in the bull neck, in the big shoulders, in the thick arms, in the sinewy wrists, I've never even heard of that word, and in the powerful legs. Look at her. Looking at her, you get the feeling that this was someone who could have bend iron bars and tear telephone directories in half. Her face, I'm afraid, was neither a thing of beauty nor a joy forever. She had an obstinate chin, a cruel mouth, and small arrogant eyes. And as for her clothes, they were, to say the least, extremely odd. She always had on a brown cotton smock, which was pinched in around the waist, with a wide leather belt. The belt was fastened in front with an enormous silver buckle. The massive thighs, which emerged from ordinary breeches, bottle green in colour and made of coarse twill. These breeches reached to just below the knees, and from there on down she sported green stockings with turn-up tops, which displayed her calf muscles to perfection. On her feet she wore flat-heeled brown brogues with leather flaps. She looked, in short, more like a rather eccentric and bloodthirsty follower of the staghounds than the headmistress of a nice school for children. When Miss Honey entered the study, Miss Trunchbull was standing beside the huge desk with a look of scowling impatience on her face. "Yes, Miss Honey," she said. "What is it you want? You're looking very flushed and flustered this morning. What's the matter with you? Have those little stinkers been flicking spitballs at you?" "No, headmistress, nothing like that." "Well, what is it then? Get on with it. I'm a busy..." woman. As she spoke, she reached out and poured herself a glass of water from a jug on her desk. "There is a little girl in my class called Matilda Wormwood," Miss Honey began. "That's the daughter of the man who owns Wormwood Motors in the village," Miss Trunchbull barked. She hardly ever spoke in a normal voice. She either barked or shouted. "An excellent person, Wormwood," she went on. "I was in there only yesterday. He sold me a car, almost new, only 10,000 miles. Previous old owner was an old lady who took it out once a year at the most. A terrific bargain." Yes, I liked Wormwood, a real pillar of our society. He told me the daughter was a bad lot, though. He said to watch her. He said if anything bad ever happened in the school, it was certain to be his daughter who did it. I haven't met the little brat yet, but she'll know about it when I do. Her father said she's a real wart." "Oh no, headmistress, that can't be right," Miss Honey cried. "Oh yes, Miss Honey, it darn well is right. In fact, now I come to think of it, I'll bet it was she who put the stink bomb under my desk here first thing this morning. The place stank like a sewer. Of course it was her. I shall have her for that. You see if I don't. What's she look like? Nasty little worm, I'll be bound. Where are we? I have discovered, Miss Honey, during my long career as a teacher, that a bad girl is a far more dangerous creature than a bad boy. What's more, they're much harder to..." Squash. Squashing a bad girl is like trying to squash a blue bottle. You bang down on it and the darn thing isn't there. Nasty, dirty things little girls are. Glad I never was one. "Oh, but you must have been a little girl once, headmistress. Surely you were." "Not for long, anyways," Miss Trunchbull barked, grinning. "I became a woman very quickly." "She's completely off her rocker," Miss Honey told herself. "She's balmy as a bedbug." Miss Honey stood resolutely before the headmistress. For once she was not going to be browbeaten. "I must tell you, Miss Headmistress," she said, "that you are completely mistaken about Matilda putting a stink bomb under your desk." "I am never mistaken, Miss Honey." "But, Headmistress, the child only arrived in school this morning and came straight to the classroom." "Don't argue with me, for heaven's sake, woman. This little brute, Matilda, or whatever her name is, has stink-bombed my study. There's no doubt about it. Thank you for suggesting it." "But I didn't suggest it, Headmistress." "Of course you did. Now, what is it you want, Miss Honey? Why are you wasting my time?" "I came to talk to you about Matilda, Headmistress. I have extraordinary I have extraordinary things to report about the child. May I please tell you what happened in class just now? I suppose she set fire to your skirt and scorched your knickers, Miss Trunchbull snorted. No, no, Miss Honey cried out. Matilda is a genius. As the mention of this word, Miss Trunchbull's face turned purple and her whole body seemed to swell up like a bullfrog's. A genius, she shouted. What piffle is this you are talking, madam? You must be out of your mind. I have her father's word for it that this child is a gangster. Her father is wrong, headmistress. Don't be a twerp, Miss Honey. You have met the little beast for only half an hour, and her father has known her whole life. But Miss Honey was determined to have her say, and she now began to describe some of the amazing things Matilda had done with arithmetic. So she's learnt a few tables by heart, has she? Miss Trunchbull barked. My dear woman, that doesn't make her a genius. It makes her a parrot. But headmistress, she can read. So can I, Miss Trunchbull snapped. It is my opinion, Miss Honey said, that Matilda should be taken out of my form and placed immediately in the top form with the 11-year-olds. Ha! Snorted Miss Trunchbull. So you want to get rid of her, do you? So you can't handle her? So now you want to unload her onto the wretched Miss Plimsoll in the top form where she will cause more chaos? No, no, cried Miss Honey. That is not my reason at all. Oh, yes, it is, shouted Miss Trunchbull. I can see right through your little plot, madam. And my answer is no. Matilda stays where she is, and that is up to you to see that she behaves herself. But headmistress, please. Not another word, shouted Miss Trunchbull. And in any case, I have a rule in the school that all children remain in their own age group regardless of ability. Great Scott, I'm not having a little 5-year-old brigand sitting with the senior girls and boys in the top form. Whoever heard of such a thing? Miss Honey stood there helpless before this great red-necked giant. There was a lot more she would like to have said, but she knew it was useless. She said softly, Very well then, it's up to you, headmistress. You're darn right it's up to me, Miss Trunchbull bellowed. And don't forget, madam, that what we are dealing with here, a little viper who put a stink bomb under my desk. She did not do that, headmistress. Of course she did, Miss Trunchbull boomed. And I'll tell you what, I wish to heavens I was still allowed to use the birch and belt as I did in the good old days. I'd have roasted Matilda's bottom for her. She couldn't sit down for a month.